Welcome everyone to our third session of our Future Leaders. And today we have Cheryl Canzanella and Derek Scheetz with us. And this is going to be like a really good chance to kind of round robin and talk and you just kind of hear their different stories about, getting into the industry and, their career paths and things like that. So, so this is going to be a really engaging session. So, please feel free, again, use the chat feature, Q&A feature. We'll be monitoring that and getting all your questions answered. So Cheryl, Derek, I'll kick it over to you to start the dialogue. If you want to just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what your current role is, and then maybe kind of how you got to where you are, what has been your career path.
Well, Cheryl, you want to go or you want me to take it away?
You can go ahead, Derek.
Wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Derek Scheetz. Thank you for joining us this early afternoon if you're on the East Coast and late morning if you're anywhere else in the country. I am in Columbus, Ohio. I am from Columbus, Ohio. I was born at Ohio State Medical Center and graduated from the Ohio State University. So I am a born and raised Buckeye. I have loved living in Columbus my entire life and have had no desire to live anywhere else, to be perfectly honest. Studying at Ohio State University, I was very unsure of what I wanted to do moving forward in my life and career. So my first 2 years of school, I really just went through the electives and completed all my electives. And I got to a point where I was meeting with my advisor, and she assured me that there were no more electives for me to complete. I really had to determine what path I was going to be taking at that point. At Ohio State, they consider you an exploration major when you're undecided. And I didn't like the fact that I was still exploring all these options. So I took something that I've always known and moved it forward. So I've known that I've always wanted to help people. I just did not know in what capacity I was going to be able to help people. So my advisor and I worked together and determined that I am able to move down the path of financial services and graduate within 2 more years. And that was going to be the route that I was going to take. To be perfectly honest, at that time, I did not understand the full capacity of what financial services, financial advising, and financial planning actually is. But I knew that that's something that was down my alley. So studying there at Ohio State, I interned with 2 financial services companies. I really enjoyed the internships over the summer, but at that point, I was still young and undecided on exactly what path I wanted to take. So I was actually introduced to a firm in Columbus called Forrester's Financial Services. And having interviewed with a few other firms, I decided that that was the best fit for me at the time. What happened was they not only helped with training and how to more or less meet with individuals, they helped us get the licensing that's required so that we can help individuals more than just sitting down and having a conversation. So I got paid to get my licensing, which is extremely rare within the industry. But that was the best thing that could have happened to me because I was not so much forced, but I was guided to get my life and health license and then also my securities licensing. So what that led to is the ability to help more individuals. It's not just protection, it's also about investing and growing and wealth management. And that was the first step I took to becoming a financial advisor. Again, I learned the industry. I also learned that the industry has a bad rap, or at least a lot of people have negative connotations towards our industry. And it's because of they just don't understand it. When it comes to it, if you're an actual financial advisor working with your clients and you're working in their best interest, people understand the importance of meeting with a financial advisor. So at that point, I was new to the industry. I had no idea who I wanted to work with, what type of individuals I wanted to work with. So I was going out and meeting anyone and everyone that I could. It was a very, very good way for me to learn the process of scheduling a meeting. That's the first step to meeting with individuals, is scheduling that meeting. I learned that process. I learned how to have a conversation with an individual and how to more or less break the ice on what their financial situation may be. I learned the term financial junk drawer very quickly, and I use that very often with my new clients because everyone has that junk drawer in their kitchen. Well, most people also have a financial junk drawer. They have a bunch of stuff. They have IRAs, they have insurance policies, they have all this stuff. They just don't have an organized manner of taking a look at it. So that was really the transition I took in terms of utilizing my skills in this career. The next step I took was really determining the market or niche, if you will, that I wanted to work with. So having been with Foresters Financial for almost a year, I had two individuals that I went to high school with reach out to me. They were with another firm here in Columbus, and I met with them, and I noticed a drastic difference right away. Foresters Financial is a great company, but they were more on the product side, where the firm that I am now with, Lifetime Financial Growth, is more on the planning side, which is, it's more process driven as opposed to product driven. Don't get me wrong, there are products involved with the process, but it's not what's the hot topic of the week. Go and sell it. It's never that. It's always having a plan and a process and having structure to it. So I transitioned to Lifetime Financial Growth. And at that same time, I realized that each advisor within LFG had a niche market. And I had alluded to that earlier, but what I learned is when you work with a market, i.e. dentists, attorneys, accountants, real estate agents, other insurance agents, it doesn't matter what the market is, you have to know those individuals. You can't do that if you're working with everyone across the board. You cannot specialize in a specific area of people without knowing that industry. And what I also learned is bluebirds fly with bluebirds. So I started working with dentists. Dentists like hanging out with other dentists. So I learned that if I'm doing a good job with a small group of dentists, I can get recommendations and referrals to others. So going along that niche market, what led me to really take the full stride and move forward is having goals and objectives for myself. I had my sights on a few different things in the future, and without having those goals, I would have never targeted those different areas within my market to achieve my goals and objectives in the most efficient manner. That's for my personal side. My clients also have goals and objectives, and that's where I help them along the way. So what I did next is I spent a lot of time working within that individual market. I got to know these dentists. I spent a lot of time with them. And the best part about what we do, and you'll hear more about this from Cheryl here soon, is we have fun with our clients. For example, I'm hosting a Topgolf event tonight for 12 clients. Next week, I'm doing the same thing. Last week, I hosted a happy hour at Grandview Cafe here in town. I am able to go out, socialize with clients and not clients, have a good time doing it, and then schedule meetings with those individuals after the fact. It's a very fun industry to be in. And at the end of the day, you get to choose who you work with. So I, again, decided to dive deep into that market of dentists. And I learned so much about the industry that, besides the fact that I'm not a dentist, I can talk to any dentist about the big picture. It's not going to be so much about how to extract a tooth. It's about how to run the business as a dentist. So I started hanging out at places that I thought dentists would hang out too. So I'd hang out at the country club or the gym down the street or the golf course, wherever it may be. I would put myself in those positions to try and meet more individuals within that market. That's really what it came down to. I learned that you have to have an affinity towards the group that you're working with. You don't want to work with people you don't like. You want to work with people you like. It's that simple. So I focused and was able to relate myself to that individual group. And that's really what it came down to. So now it's a matter of continuing that process, working with those individuals and having a good time along the way. It's not all about being professional. It's not all about business. It's about having fun with your clients after you've had the professional conversations. When it comes down to it, you have to have a clear plan. And I did start with the dentist. I worked deep into that individual market, and I continue to grow my business by putting myself into situations that would likely create new relationships. And again, working back with a lot of those individuals that I met in the beginning, and each and every 3 months or 6 months, or at a minimum 12 months, or excuse me, a maximum 12 months, I'm meeting each of these individuals. So that's another great opportunity to learn more about them, what they do, who they like, who they trust, and meet more individuals just like that. So at the end of the day, in conclusion, it comes down to choosing the market you want to work in. And it's really impossible to become the jack of all trades. I pride myself on being a great relationship guy, but I'm not going to be the one that's setting up your 401k plan for your business. I have someone in my office that does that. I bring experts to the table when the time is right. I never will pride myself on being the jack of all trades, because I'm not. That's what it comes down to, knowing what you know and trusting who you know to take care of what you don't know. So that's what it comes down to. Explore different areas, explore different industries. And again, if it's financial services that's right for you, you can work with all the other industries that are out there. That's what it comes down to. You have so many options within financial services. You can be a financial planner, you can be an insurance agent, you can be a combination of all of that. And you can work with whoever you want, which is the best part about it. As an accountant or an attorney, you're more or less taking in clients that are in need of you. Whereas a financial advisor, I'm going out and finding the clients that I want to work with. And it's just been a blessing to be able to do that, because I speak the language, I know the lingo, and it's much easier to have those conversations with these individuals. And that's what it comes down to. So with that, I don't know if I have anything else to share, Emily and Cheryl and attendees, but I'm open to questions.
Yeah. So Cheryl, why don't you kind of talk a little bit about your journey, your career path, and then I'll throw a couple more questions out to you, both of you, and then we can kind of engage with the students.
Well, I'm glad that Derek said a lot. He kind of went into, having fun, which I have to wholeheartedly agree with. But some of the points that you made, Derek, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. And in order to build that trust, the know, like, and part is maybe the easier part, but the trust part comes with building time. It's important to have that plan. It's important to be educated and knowledgeable. And of course, it's important to have fun, and choosing who you want to work with will help you achieve all of that. But it does come down to people doing business with those they know, like, and trust. And that's why it's important for you to find your way and figure out which part of this business is going to be right for you. And I think it's interesting, and that's kind of where my background comes in. I have kind of a different twist on direction. I'm a prime example of how many directions you can take in this industry. So I'll start with where I'm from. I'm born and raised Floridian. I'm from Palm Beach, but I attended Palm Beach Atlantic University. Go Sailfish. But I live now. I call home Jacksonville, Florida, North Florida. But I've been a member of NAIFA for over 10 years. And over the years, I have acquired licenses in this industry, FINRA, Security 6, 7, 24, 53, a couple of different ones, insurance license. And then I've had the opportunity to continue my education through the American College and receive different designations. And I think that that's important with establishing that trust when you want to establish those relationships. So with my direction, I kind of, fell into the industry. I know some people may grow up in the industry and are part of a legacy and are able to take the business over from their families. But like Derek, Some of us just kind of end up in here in the industry, fall into it, which is not uncommon of many of the stories that we hear from a lot of the successful people in our industry. It's not uncommon at all. So currently I work as a retirement solutions advisor for Movement Mortgage. I'll take you on a journey on how I got to this point, but my role, I specifically work with financial advisors like Derek, who work in the best interest of their clients, and I help educate them on incorporating housing wealth into the financial planning conversation. You see, our industry is like changing all the time. It's transitioning, there's updates, there's new things that we're learning all the time. And it's important for us to stay on top of that, and how we offer advice also changes with time. So my role, I'm tasked with changing the way people think about retirement and readjusting what we've been taught over the years, and to how to incorporate housing wealth or home equity into the planning conversation. So I actually started in the industry. Like I said, I fell into it. I didn't even know what a stalker bond was. I was just happy to have a great person hire me, a mentor, and a steady paycheck. So I was just a kid. I knew nothing about the industry. But here I am 23 years later. The industry, I have to tell you, has been very good to me, but I started with a small company called Merrill Lynch, and I worked as an internal wholesaler, and I sold insurance products to financial advisors. And I over the years, I've built a business as a financial advisor. So I sat in the chair that Derek was sitting in. I had to work. I've also worked within compliance and kind of the back end of things. So I've thought, I'd climb the corporate ladder from the inside in. I've even recruited new people to the industry. So people such as yourselves that are considering getting into the industry, I would place and connect them with the right areas of the industry for them to consider working in. So over the last 10 years, my practice has actually been dedicated to helping financial advisors. And I was with another company, small company called Mass Mutual. And I specifically focused, again, on helping advisors like Derek with the sale of life insurance, disability, long-term care, annuity products. All of the planning that he puts into place ends up with a potential product on the line, and how to align that as a point of sale with clients. So that comes with case design, planning, things like that. Over the years, I've taken different twists and turns. And just like Derek said, I think it's important. I don't consider myself like a jack of all trade in the industry, but I guess I could say I did have a chance to be working in many different areas. So if you are a jack of all trades, you don't want to stay in that particular area, because you want to focus on one area which you're going to be the most effective at. And having a chance to try different areas of the industry gave me a chance to figure things out where I wanted to work. So there's so many different areas and directions within this industry. And I absolutely love what I do. I'm also a new mom. So this industry affords me the flexibility to be a mother. It does take a lot of time and dedication, but I have the flexibility to adjust my time and my schedule that allows me to, have time off during the day and work at night. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that you're just going to have a 9-to-5 job. You may be working at all hours of the day. But when you figure out what direction you want to go, like, Derek may be working a couple nights a week to accommodate his schedule with dentists. They're working during the day. Do they want to talk to him after work? Do some of them want to talk to him while they're during their practice? So I just know that this business has been very good to me. And being a new mom just allows me a lot of flexibility to continue what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I think, the students have heard this quite a bit from John Richardson, who presented our first session, and Evelyn Geller, who presented our second session, is, just really the flexibility of this industry. And, one of the things too that we always talk about so often is that you guys are coming in at a great time in the industry. And, there's some statistics out there because of the boomers retiring and getting out of the business. And this is an ample opportunity for you to really come in and, work with these people who are leaving and get their books of business, because the number that's out there is that, in the next few years, there's going to be 400,000 open jobs. And, and this is a great time for you to be learning about the industry and, kind of finding where you fit. And so Derek and Cheryl, I almost said Daryl, Derek and Cheryl, kind of talk about, how you have, Derek, I know for you, for sure, you were kind of going one path, and what was it that steered you into a career in financial services?
Emily, you just don't know. We might be the next like Bennifer, but we don't even know it in a relationship. But for the young leader, program, we might be the next Daryl. So sorry. And Derek, I know you
Derek,
got
you're on mute. We lost your sound.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Okay, sorry about that. So, when it comes to career paths and what more or less pushed me in this direction, were, it was a couple of different things. When I was an undergrad, I was studying, I was getting everything done. I just didn't understand where I wanted to be, what I wanted to be. I was actually, I'll piggyback off of what I mentioned earlier. I was actually working as a surgical technician for an oral surgeon here in town. Literally in my spare time. I would work, it was anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a week. Initially, it was just charting, literally charting before electronic medical records were a thing. And that led into being a scrub tech. So I would clean instruments, sterilize instruments, those types of things. That led into actually assisting in surgery. And I really enjoyed that. But what that actually led to was a knowledge base of the industry that I was more or less looking to work with. I learned a lot about the dental community, but long story short, I didn't jump into financial services right away from being a surgical tech. I actually went and got my real estate license in between there too, thinking that could be a good fit for me. So I actually was a real estate agent for 12 months. I sold a few houses here and there throughout the process, but what I learned was it's a very transactional business. And what I mean by that is you're going to spend a lot of time with an individual for 30 days, and then you may not see them ever again. That to me was the reason that I wanted to do something where I can build a relationship as opposed to here's what's available, take it or leave it. So that's really what transitioned me into financial services, was realizing that the relationship is so powerful. And that's what I find is my strong point, is keeping a relationship and building it and growing it and taking it from A to infinity, because there's no end. It is just where it's going to go. And I'm not sure if I answered your question at all, Emily. I may have gone the wrong direction there.
No, that's exactly, no, because I know your story. That was exactly what I was hoping to extrapolate from you is, just, and then also how you took kind of your core of your background and your knowledge, and that's how you built your niche market into, yes, because you were able to relate to those dentists and things that they're going through, and understanding that, and how you were able to then take that and build your business into that as well.
Correct. And to take that a little step further, it was me just physically being in an oral surgeon or dental office of any kind, physically being in there and seeing how things move around, how people move around, how all these different transactions occur. I'm able to now go into a dental practice and talk about qualified plans, 401ks and group benefits and all these different things, because I know very well that that's a huge deal for employees. They want these types of things. Not only that, we now know what specific types of benefits that these individuals are looking for, as opposed to kind of just throwing a dart at a wall and hoping it sticks. It doesn't work that way. So I've learned, when I was actually a surgical tech, I had benefits. I had a 401k with the company. I had all these things, and I know what was good and what wasn't good. I am now able to bring that expertise into these conversations, having been through it, literally having gone through it, and share that knowledge with individuals. And most of the time, it's not a conversation with the dentist or the business owner. It's the human resources manager, whoever runs that. So what I also learned throughout the process is relationships within that individual's own market or own center of or circle of influence is extremely important. Knowing who else they work with as well, whether it's the HR lady or guy who runs the office and does all the back office stuff, or it's even their accountant or their attorney. I want to know those and have those relationships as well, because there are areas where I'm going to be involved where they will also have their attorney involved. So those relationships are extremely vital, but also, it just really helped having that base knowledge of being able to just speak the language. That's what it came down to. So I took what I knew, and I also took what I wanted to do and married them together. And it's been very fruitful for myself, my career, and my clients, because people like working with people they like, and I can choose now a little more of who I get to work with. Early in my career, it was more of I'll take what I can get when I can get it. Now it's I can go ahead and recommend you're going to meet someone else down the hall because I don't want to deal with that. And that's what it comes down to. You get to a point in your career where you can say no to individuals, just like any other career out there. You want to get to the point where you're able to pick and choose who you work with, as opposed to having to take everything and everyone, because you're going to deal with a lot more headache that way. Cheryl alluded to flexibility. Again, I've had 2 kids in the past 20 months. I have had the flexibility to work from home if I need to, meet clients at all sorts of hours. If I have to have meetings after the kids go to sleep, I do that. That's what it is. So again, I know I went off a little tangent there, but really it's about picking something but also something you like. That's very important, because I'm going to be working with dentists for a long time. If I didn't like dentists, I would not be doing what I do. That's what it is. So it's a multifaceted approach. But at the end of the day, Cheryl and I will tell you every time, you got to have fun with your clients. And that's what it comes down to. They got to like you. You got to like them. And that's it. That was it.
Yeah. And, and Cheryl, because you have gone, Derek took his knowledge and has kind of formed a niche. Now, in your case, you've done different things. And so, this is a question to both of you, what about this career fills your bucket, makes you, and I know we've alluded to the flexibility, the people, the relationships. And I thought Derek's comment a little while ago about, the transactional relationship, work on this for this period of time and, see you later. That's a big part of it. But, what is it that makes you want to continue to stay in this career and know that this was the right choice for you?
Well, I can tell you, I love meeting, speaking, and talking to new people every day. And just like Derek said, it's all about relationships, and you have an opportunity to really connect and meet with people. And again, that's just side of the business I'm on. It doesn't mean you have to do that with every part of this business. But for Derek and I, we are, front and center meeting with people, and we do have flexibility of Zoom now, more so than, but, sitting down and speaking with people, I would say, is kind of what fuels me. But, it's important to find, your passion for the business. And Derek shared a little bit about why he's passionate, because he found an area that is his niche, and he is the go-to guy. If there's anybody that is opening up a dentist practice, Derek's going to be the guy to go to set up all of their financial plans. And then everybody within that practice knows that they could take all of their personal business to Derek. And he has worked hard to build that. Sometimes you don't know exactly what your niche is, and that's okay. You'll find it over time, just like I had to try different avenues to figure out which was where I was going to be the most effective with my talents. But along the way, and if you don't know what your why is, and I'm sure you've heard about, finding your why, your passion for what you do, it's okay if you don't have it. I mean, I at first, I didn't necessarily have my why, but I can tell you I'm more than happy to share, my why and what has fueled me to continue doing what I love to do and educating advisors and my passion. But I learned it over my career, and I have a sister who is has 4 children, and 2 of which are twins and are special needs. There's a lot of planning that needs to be done for special needs children, and a lot of resources out there, not necessarily for those that don't have the funds and the lifestyle. It could be for the high net worth individuals on what avenues and availabilities for access to programs and things like that. And as an advisor, you can help them navigate through a lot of these things. So I found my why, when I became a widow at 38 years old. I experienced personally the importance of life insurance, that I was helping my clients achieve and put together plans and building a foundation of protection through things like life insurance. And I experienced in myself the importance of it and the need for locking in insurability, because I personally became a caregiver to my husband, who was battling a disease that just turned him into, a shell of his former self. And I watched him deteriorate as I was a caregiver to him. And I watched my life savings and my earnings become depleted as we did everything we could to help him. But my financial decisions became cloudy and put on the back burner because my priority was him. And, as an advisor, there's things that you could help clients with to maybe avoid some of those decisions, to help them make more sound decisions, to help them through times of crisis. It's important, to have things like life insurance to help families out during times of crisis like that. I personally watched my mom go through herself being a caregiver for my grandmother and having to fly from Florida to New York while my grandmother was, on her deathbed, and learning how to read my grandmother's long-term care policy. Yes, I had been exposed to it in the past, long-term care, but it wasn't one of my focuses. Luckily, I, could rely on someone who focuses on long-term care in the industry. And that could have been a route that I went to and was drawn to really focus on long-term care. And so understanding those benefits, I watched my mom settle her estate. I mean, these are all real life scenarios that happen. And as an advisor, we have the opportunity to help guide our clients through the unplanned, through life and life's realities. So I think it's important to find your why, and again, it may not be right away, and that's okay. Derek mentioned there's no end to this industry, and to your last question, Emily, on the opportunities, there's so much opportunity. No end to this industry means that if Derek wants to continue practicing till he's old and gray and he doesn't even want to leave the house, he can certainly do that because we have that flexibility. And that's really what's happened over the years. A lot of the people that have been in this industry have been in the industry for a very long time. There is a need for change, and there is so much opportunity because a lot of them are, they may not be ready to give up their practice, but they're looking for successors. They're looking for people because they love their clients and they love working with them. They want to find people who are able to learn their ways and bring in new ways and new ideas and new views to bring their practice to the next level. But they're looking for people to come in and hand their business off. And it's going to take a lot of work. That's not always the easiest way to go, because you're working with someone who is probably very, very narrow-minded on how they've had to run their business. This is the way we've done it for 50 years. So it might be more difficult to do that direction. But then, you have the opportunity, like Derek, to create your own business. But there's so much opportunity right now. And again, relationships. And we talked about it. If you haven't had a chance to go back to the previous session last week with Evelyn Geller, she talked about the importance of mentors in the business and relationships. And that is a great avenue to take too, to help with building your practice.
You know, I actually just got off another call internally that, so NAIFA is a 133-year-old organization. In 2023, we have 109 people who are celebrating their 50th year of being a NAIFA member. So think about that. Derek's mind is a little blown. So that shows you, to Cheryl's point, this can be a lucrative career for you for a very long time. And you know, do the math. They're, you know, probably 70 plus right there. And you know, 109 people that have committed to being a NAIFA member for 50 years this year. So, you know, it is definitely an opportunity to really get yourself set up. And, you know, the importance, you know, there is so much knowledge that you can glean from those people who have been there, and then take all the technology and all the new stuff that you're learning and all the new, you know, products that are out there and things like that, and combining that, you know, taking that knowledge from, you know, I know Lily has been in contact with Ike Trotter, who's a bit of a NAIFA legend, and, you know, and talking to somebody like that who has all of this experience. Sorry, I think I froze there for a second. Sorry about that. But
You're back.
okay, yeah, my whole computer just, sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna go on mute, but like Cheryl said, you know, this is a fantastic opportunity. You know, questions that you all have about, you know, different career paths and different ways that you've gone, please engage and talk, and you know, unmute, or, you know, use the Q&A and take advantage of the time that we've got. So I'm gonna stop talking, so hopefully my internet stabilizes a little bit.
And
Well,
I would say too,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Cheryl.
Well, I would say too, just make sure if you know questions pop up later, we are always available. Write our names down, reach out to us. LinkedIn is a great way to get your information out there and to connect with people. And anything that you are requesting or looking for, if you do reach out to us, you know, we can connect you with people as well. And that's just to start getting used to connecting with people, and that's a great place to start.
And my quick add-on to Cheryl's, what fulfills you, keeps you going. It's something that I totally grazed over. It's the importance of helping people. That's what it comes down to, is the ability to help people make informed financial decisions for themselves and their families. That is what we do. That's why we do it. And again, your why is going to be totally different than my why. Ultimately, it's helping people. And without advisors, we would not have successful individuals like we do out there. We wouldn't have the ability to have people retire when they want to retire. That's what it is. We get to help people every day, day in and day out. And that's what it comes down to.
And, you know, I know we talked about Lily last time, but, you know, Lily has really taken full advantage of what we're offering with Future Leaders, is, you know, access to different people across the country who then, you know, like, use Derek's example. He's like, you know what, I don't deal with that kind of what was it, long-term care or something that you said, but, you know, I've got somebody down the hall who can do that. And so take advantage of, because the people who are doing this session with you, these sessions, are very well connected in different avenues of the industry. So if what Derek does for a living may not be like necessarily, oh, yeah, I'm kind of interested in that, but I kind of want to go this way. It doesn't mean don't talk to Derek. There's so many people that he's also connected to, and getting to know these people and making connections. And that's how you're going to build your business too, is, because it's a good practice session. I think Cheryl kind of alluded to that, of learning how to network and learning how to leverage relationships, because that's how you're going to get more clients and get referrals and things like that. So I don't know, Derek or Cheryl, if there's anything from an actual producer's perspective that you wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, actually, so going along the lines of what Cheryl alluded to earlier with the long-term care, I alluded to earlier with retirement plans, and just having not just a mentor, but having that person in your circle that is there to answer those questions. They, down the hall on either side of me, I know that there's someone that can help me with each individual facet within financial planning. It's not only that, it's having individuals outside of that industry that are there to answer questions for you as well. Legal, accounting, real estate, lending, all those different areas. If you have a question, you want to be able to get the answer to your client. You also don't want to lie about it. So tell them the truth. I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know someone that does, and I will get you that answer as soon as possible. That is the power of having all those individuals around you. And as Emily alluded to, if what I am saying doesn't resonate with you, I can guarantee someone on either side of the hallway of me has a message that would resonate with you, if that makes sense. You'll find that the industry of financial services, we're not all mathematicians. We're not all relationship whizzes. Each individual person within financial planning services, whatever it may be, is different. And you just need to find someone that you stick to, someone that you like, someone that can help you learn the business, and that's going to not so much hold your hand, but push you up to get to the next level.
And there's plenty of us willing to help bring you up. So if we connect with, a motivated individual, there's plenty of people out there that are willing to take their time, even mentor and help. So I would even look to your local areas before you figure out what you want to do, and just interview them and just say, hey, can I have like 20 minutes of your time to just ask you what you do? I mean, people would be more than happy typically, to take time and just share, this is what I do. And then you could figure out, well, hey, I kind of like this. I have a good friend of mine who literally walked into a practice, and she went straight to the guy in the back corner and said, I want to be like you. Tell me what I have to do. And guess what? She became partner. So, and she was probably the youngest partner and person that had just gotten out of college, had got her CFP, and went straight up to the top person. So if there's somebody that you are interested, an area that you're interested in, go to that top person, go straight to Derek and say, look, I kind of, my father was a dentist. I think I might like this area. How did you do it? And take time with Derek to let him, share a little bit more. He'd be more than happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Hello, this is Lily talking. My question for you all is, if you were in my position right now, I'm a second semester sophomore, what would you be doing to prepare for a career?
It's a great question. First thing, and this is actually going to be the only thing I'm going to add here. Hold on, I'm covering your name. Is this Lily? Oh, hi, Lily.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Hi.
My name is Derek Scheetz. Nice to see you. My biggest and number one suggestion is lean on your professors. Not just your professors, but find out where the upper class are leaning towards in terms of internships. That is going to be your best way to find out what area you want to work. And again, the best part about an internship is, even if you don't like that internship, you're going to learn, and that knowledge is going to help you with whatever you do in the future. So open the door, just find out what opportunities are available, whether it's a summer internship or something part-time during the school year. Just find something. And again, the professors are very good to lean on. They will have suggestions on maybe companies or individuals to be contacting, but just be open. That's my number one suggestion as a sophomore. Be open, get your general elective credits taken care of so you can focus on what's most important in your final year. So as you transition into your third year, continue working on your elective credits and then start focusing more on where you want to go. So you can hit the ground running once you get there.
And I would say to that as well is focusing on, even if it's in that internship, I think is great. Even if you're just filing papers, you're going to see the language, you're going to see the atmosphere, you're going to see, the kind of paperwork. And again, you may learn that this is something you don't want to do, but that's okay. You're still going to take away stuff and learn. And I wish I would see a lot more internships, in some of the areas I've worked with, but I have seen some come through and it's always a joy getting to know them. So, and it works both ways. You have an opportunity to talk to so many people that would be in that location, and you never know where it's going to lead.
That's great advice. Thank you all.
Pleasure.
It's good to see you on here again, Lily.
Anybody else have questions or comments, suggestions that you're looking for?
Always reach out to us later too.
Yes, Cheryl and I both put our email addresses in the chat box. So if you guys want to take those down, feel free to reach out to us with any questions at all.
Well, Cheryl, Derek, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And like I said, use this as an opportunity. You guys have made the commitment to be involved with future leaders. So make sure that you're utilizing every aspect of this and, discovering where your best fit is and how, how to be successful in this industry and make the most of the time that we have together. And, whether that means watching it on demand and catching up and reaching out on LinkedIn after the fact, that's totally fine. Obviously we say class is number one, and it's more important for you to go to class than catch something on Future Leaders that you can watch on demand. But, just wanted to thank everyone again. So we're wrapping up our last session. Will be next week on the 23rd, same time, same place. And we've got Chris Gandy, who's going to kind of bring it home for us. And, Chris has a great story. He actually is a former NBA player and played on the same Chicago Bulls team as Michael Jordan. So you can imagine that he's got some great leadership lessons to instill on you, and what it takes to be the 1% in this industry. So there's no more questions. I will see everyone back here next week.
See you then.
Bye.
Thank you.